there's so much more to life outside of your comfort zone.
Yep.
So, coming and doing ice baths and breath work and podcasts and what have you is something I would normally not,
steer clear of.
Yeah. But I just want to do more things outside my comfort zone, and it's what I tell my kids as well. And just got to practice what you preach.
All right, folks, welcome back to another Sauna Sessions with Shay. In the barrel sauna today, I have Paul Savage. How are you, Paul?
Mate, I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it. I met Paul at a party, literally, about, a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
We hit it off. You said you'd been listening to the podcast, and I said, well, you've got to come in do the deluxe package, come on down and have a chat with us. And you said, fucking oath, let's do it. So I'm so glad you're here, mate.
Yep.
Mate, do you want to do the honorary ladling of the first water onto the hot rocks? And while you do this, I've got some questions for you. This is just a couple of icebreakers to get the ball rolling. Now, question number one, doona and top sheet, or just doona on the bed?
Doona and top sheet.
You're a doona and top sheet. Okay, sorry, I'd love to know that. I'm just a doona guy. We've got two doonas now.
Aircon on flat out, and everything pulled right, right up to the neckline.
Fan as well? Have you got a fan?
I do have a fan, but no, just aircon.
Just aircon.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I like my bedroom to be like an icebox.
Yeah. So, I get it. If you're running hot, if you're sweating, you're up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, I don't do the top sheet. I do the doona. What about the middle of summer? If you don't have aircon, do you still have to put a patch on you? Like, let's say it's 35 degrees. Like it's bloody hot. Do you still need something on your body?
Yeah, I need a sheet.
I do too. I just need something covering me. Yeah. Okay, question number two. You've been dropped onto a deserted island and you have to survive it as long as possible. You're allowed 5 items. What are those 5 items?
Coffee.
That's one.
Oh, gosh. Avocado.
Okay. Remember, you got to survive. Okay, so...
Yeah.
It's the fundamentals as well. You may need some fire, all right?
I do love a good fire. Gosh, I can't even think. My phone, I feel naked without my phone.
I can see you on this island alone. You've made a fire and you're just eating avocado while checking TikTok.
And sipping my coffee.
While sipping the coffee. One last thing.
I don't know. Chocolate.
Okay, that'll do. Good one. Okay, I like it. Okay, question number 3. You're at Woolies. You've got 20 items in your shopping basket. You notice that there's no one in the 10 items or less checkout. Do you A, test your luck at that checkout, or B, line up with everyone else?
No, I line up with everyone else.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, you know that you're over the limit, and you're not going to test yourself out.
Yeah.
Okay,
I frown on people that do that. I'll give them that filthy look.
Really?
Yeah.
You got 20 items, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I did it once, mate, and I actually got denied. So I think I had like 12 items in a 10 items or less. And I'm like, what, are you counting the beans I have in the bag? But she said, you got too many items. Where you go? Back to the line, buddy. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah.
I hope you learnt your lesson.
I did. It's quite embarrassing, but hey, it doesn't stop me, mate. I'll probably do it again. Okay, question 4. You're at a Chinese restaurant with 12 other individuals. Your meal comes out early. Do you A, hoe into it straight away, or B, wait for everyone else while their meals comes out?
I'll wait for everyone else.
Do you?
My mum would, if she heard about that I started before everyone else, she'd crack it.
Yeah. See, I've got a new theory on this though, like, because your food's sitting there and it's getting cold. Now, if that 12th person's meal doesn't come out to half an hour later, theirs is going to be smoking hot, but yours is going to be freaking freezing. So and I'm the same. I think my parents brought me up. You wait till everyone else, right? But I'm now under the impression if my food goes cold, I'm not going to be a happy camper. So I just hoe in. All right, final question. You go to that same Chinese restaurant a week later with 3 people. The entree comes out and it's 4 spring rolls. Everyone has a spring roll, and there's one left over. Everyone's starving, and you really want that last spring roll. but you don't want to be greedy. Do you A, ask if anyone wants that last spring roll? B, just leave it and wait for the mains? C, split it 4 ways? Or D, create a distraction, just take it?
Look, I would probably leave it.
Right, and wait for the mains.
Yeah.
Because how much food, there's always one of something sitting at a table. Have you ever noticed that? Like all the plates come out, no one wants to eat the last of anything.
Yeah.
And then generally that one thing gets cold and no one eats it and then the mains come out.
Yeah.
I'm always intrigued by that one last.
Unless, of course, I'm comfortable. If I'm really comfortable with those people, I might, I might inhale it.
It depends on the company. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, thanks for the 5 questions, mate. There you go. Yeah. Sarah's in charge of writing a few of them too. It's just things you do in everyday life, and there's always a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of choices, mate, we were just talking before about some of the choices that you are making, and you've been coming to this fork in the road, and it's either you can, go the easy way or do the hard way. And you're starting to say yes to a lot of things at this point in your life, mate. Why are you doing that? And what's, what are you finding out about yourself?
Mate, I guess it's, this is my 50th year on the planet.
Yep.
I cracked that half ton in, I think it's about 5 days or something like that. And in the lead up to this point in time, I just said to myself, I just want to say yes to more things.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more to life outside of your comfort zone.
Yep.
So, coming and doing ice baths and breath work and podcasts and what have you is something I would normally not,
steer clear of.
Yeah. But I just want to do more things outside my comfort zone, and it's what I tell my kids as well, and just got to practice what you preach.
Well, mate, you did the deluxe package today. You did the breath work into the ice bath, and you haven't done any of these things. Is that right? So you've done a little bit of breath work.
Did that little bit of breath work I told you about.
Yep. But never done an ice bath.
No.
And you actually, to me, did it quite easily. You got your breath under control. You said to me you didn't know what you were thinking about, but you just went into a zone basically, and you got through it. Yeah. Yep. So, mate, that was. But again, it's just easy to say I don't want to do this, but I think the biggest gifts are where you surprise yourself. You know what I mean? Because I've seen a lot of people come in that ice bath going, "Fuck, if I can do that, what else can I do?" Yeah. So and then this belief starts to kick in that hang on, there's more to me than meets the eye. So it's but yeah, mate, for some reason you just did that. For someone who's never done it and then did a head dunk at the end as well. Hats off to you, mate. That was really well done.
Yeah, it was good. Really enjoyed it.
So you turn 50 next week.
Yep.
Okay, and then you so you're heading to Bali with with a few your sons.
Yep.
2 sons, and again, just that's your birthday is going to be there, and you're just experiencing what? Do you travel much with the boys?
We try and do something every year.
Yeah.
I guess previously my budget hadn't allowed to travel too much with the kids, but I'm in a better position these days where we can go and do some cool stuff together.
Yeah. Good.
And they're the people I want to go and do cool stuff with.
Yeah, nice.
So,
nice. Have you booked anything in for the trip, or just play it by ear, see what happens?
I'm just going to play it by ear. Never been there, so don't really know sort of what's on offer as such. So people have been asking me, what are you going to do on the day of your birthday and what have you, and I really want to do something something significant on the day, and I don't know what that might be. I mean, if skydiving over there was an option, I would do something like that, but I don't think it is an option. But I just want to do something, whether it be scuba diving or just something that I'll always look back on and think, that was that was a great day.
Yeah.
So
because you I've obviously known my wife for a while, and you've been climbing with her.
Yep.
And she tells me the other day that you're not great with heights.
No.
So is that something you just like, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway, and to prove myself that maybe I'm not as scared as I think, or like what made you go climb mountains?
Yeah. Look, I think it is one of those things of, feel the fear and do it anyway. Definitely not great with heights. Well outside my comfort zone. I do get that whole vertigo thing where things are just in and out at me. But I love it. I just love those things that make me feel alive. The whole just fuck yeah, just
being out in nature.
How good is that?
And
particularly in nature.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think I don't know, I think the older we get, the more you were saying just earlier that you really appreciate a sunrise and a sunset.
Absolutely.
There is something magical about that. And you're doing some crazy shit at say 2:30 in the morning. You're getting up and going to the gym at those sort of times. So you're seeing the sunrise a lot.
Every day.
Yeah. So what's your morning routine, mate? Because this is pretty vicious, and I think
yeah.
So
look, the morning routine is my alarm set for 3 a.m.
Yep.
But I generally don't wake up to my alarm. I'm normally up about that sort of, I don't know, sort of anywhere between 1 and 2:30ish.
Yep. Okay.
Which is not ideal, but I don't really have a whole lot of say in the matter.
Yep.
I just. My bladder just won't get me through till that 3 a.m. mark.
Yeah, okay.
So I get up about 1:30 or whatever time that may be, and it's like the body, I get up, go to the loo, and then the body just says, "Nah, you're done. That's it. You're up."
Yep.
So I can try and go back to sleep, but it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Okay. So your routine's starting. So you're off to the gym.
Yeah, coffee first.
Yep.
Coffee before anything else.
Okay.
And then get my stuff together.
Okay.
Talk to the dogs, because I talk to my dogs more than I talk to anyone else on the planet.
Really? Yeah.
Yep. And then off to the gym. Normally get to the gym about 2:30, 3 o'clock or something like that.
Okay.
Hour in the gym and come home, and I guess my day the rest of my day starts from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's about, I know a lot of people just, when I tell them my routine in that regard, they just look at me with this strange look on their face, and they just can't get their head around it. And I understand that it is very much out of the norm, but it's.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, how many people are doing it? How many people are in the gym at that time?
Well, I don't get. It's rare for me to have the gym to myself. That's for sure.
Okay. Yeah. More people are doing the early.
Yeah. You always sort of walk in. It's the same people there at the same time every day. And I've certainly got a healthy respect for those people, because I know how difficult it is to to walk out the door at stupid o'clock.
For sure. And I suppose it's become a routine now.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you got something that you say to yourself to get yourself, like, there's obviously mornings that you don't want to do it. It's -3 degrees. You're nice and snug under your doona. Don't want to get out of bed. Have you got something that you say to yourself to get yourself cracking? Because I think the default for most people is like, let's just sleep in. Let's stay under that doona. Let's just enjoy the rain on the roof. Just for everyone at home, there's going to be plenty of rain on this roof, because it's just been torrential. I tried to get Paul in here a week ago, and a cyclone was hitting, and we almost had to cancel today because it's just torrential downpour. But so I'm so glad that he's made it in. But if you hear a little bit of a pitter patter, that's the rain outside. Yeah. So what's going on in your brain, mate, to say, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway?
Mate, it's just routine.
Yep.
I'm absolutely a creature of routine. My life is very structured, and I eat the same foods. I do the same sorts of things most of the time.
Yep.
So it's just wake up, coffee, get out the door. And I don't even think about it. It's just routine.
It's okay. It's automated.
Yeah, I don't need to force myself out the door. I don't need to have special thoughts or.
Yeah.
Get
but
motivated.
In saying that,
though,
get out the door. Your thoughts are starting to evolve, because you're a creature of habit. But it's also like, okay, I'm going to do this podcast. Okay, I'm going to jump in the ice bath. Okay, I'm going to do the breath work. So you're also challenging yourself to try new things and get out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Has that just happened the last couple of years, or is that something you've always done?
Look, it's definitely something that I've been concentrating on, particularly this last 6 months.
Yep.
I sort of had a relationship breakdown, 6 months-ish ago, and that's when I really just sort of started focusing on myself. You know, you always hear people talk about, you know, you got to do the work. You know, at the end of a relationship, you got to work on yourself. Apparently, you got to do the work. And I always wondered what that work is. And anyway, so I've just made up that work for myself, and you know, I've really sort of leaned in and focused on my nutrition and food and exercise, and saying yes to things. I'm off the grog, so I haven't touched it. You know, in this, I think I'm a few days short of 6 months off the grog.
Yeah, well, okay.
Which has been really good. You know, I've never been a big drinker anyway, just social occasions and stuff like that.
But how's that changed you? That's like you talk about working on yourself. Little things like that, they all add up to a big thing.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
putting the right nutrition in your body, you know, giving up the grog, and like the thing is, you know, it's I don't know, a beer here, or it's not going to kill you, right? But when you start fueling yourself properly, putting the right things in your system, you know, saying no to things that were a habit, you know, you're going to see change, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you're going to see a better version of yourself.
Absolutely, mate.
Because of it. Yeah.
I'm a much better person when I don't drink.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, I've never drunk to excess anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was young, back in the younger days, but you know, alcohol's just not my thing these days. But I certainly do enjoy a drink, particularly at social occasions and what have you.
Have you ever looked back on yourself and thought, geez, I was a dickhead in that situation, or I could have handled that better? 90% of those situations for me have always involved alcohol.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just being a loudmouth, being an art. Like, I was always a, you know, happy drunk or fun, like always having fun.
Yeah.
But you always said something that, because there was no filter or there was no speed bump to say, oh, probably shouldn't say that. And those cringe moments where, and sometimes that can hurt a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, by saying something dumb in a moment where you're a bit out of control.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, 90% of that was alcohol induced.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm, you know, same as you, mate.
And to wake up on a Sunday morning and not have to worry about or try and, you know, recollect the pieces of what happened the night before. You know, you just don't have to worry about that.
That's it.
So,
yeah.
And I'm not saying that I won't, you know, Bali next week, mate. It's the all-inclusive package.
You said to me at the party you may actually, you know, indulge in a few drinks.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I've paid for the package, and it's my intention to give it a reasonable nudge.
Give it a good crack.
But it's also my intent. You know, that's a week.
Yeah.
So I'll come back from that week, and I'll just go back to the.
Yeah. Back to your usual routine.
Yeah.
Well, it's a crazy routine, mate. Because to get up, you know, you hear about Mark Wahlberg's bloody. He gets up at 3:30 a.m. and he's out training at that time, and I'm like, holy shit, that's early. But you know, you're doing something very similar, so it's crazy. Rain's getting a little bit heavy, mate. We'll punch on. But
it is, isn't it?
I know how much rain we've had by how many tiles are in the pool, mate. Like you know, like how many it goes up, and it's gone up 3 tiles. It's just been constant rain. It's just been
on a positive note, no cyclone this weekend.
No cyclone. Yeah. Next time we'll get you back, mate. There'll be a bushfire for sure. There's something going on. That's southeast Queensland for you folks. Out here we've got every season. It's I don't know. I think we've all had to be built in a resilient manner, knowing that there could be we never expected a cyclone. How many cyclones have you been through?
0 or 1.
Yeah.
Alfred.
That was we've had some heavy rain and bushfires and stuff like that, but generally the cyclones are further up north. Yeah. So to have it come down here, did you cop it hard?
Mate, we did. I remember because I get up so early, I also go to bed very early.
Yeah.
And I think that Saturday night, when no one was expecting anything, everyone was expecting it on the Friday night, but not much happened.
Yep.
Come Saturday night, I went to bed pretty relaxed, not thinking too much about the cyclone, and I'd been asleep for about an hour or something like that. I got woken up with the noise and sat there for about 20 or 30 minutes just listening to the noise outside, and I thought I need to go outside and check on things, because it was so noisy.
Yeah.
And I went outside and, mate, there was trees down in my backyard. There was fence panels blown out. I got this massive paper bark tree in my backyard, and I watched that thing bend past 45 degrees. I don't know how. And I just sat there and thought, I can't stay out here, because if that tree goes, I'm in a bit of strife. So.
Oh, so it's landing on the house.
It would have.
Wow.
Anyway, fortunately, that one held strong.
Yeah, mate. Like, we had some winds up here, but it got me thinking. Can you imagine being in Cyclone Tracy in a Category 5?
Yeah.
The wind howling there.
Yeah.
And to me, that would be the scariest thing on the planet, to actually try and, and live through that.
Yeah.
Like, we were tropical low at the end of the day, and we still got like 100 click winds, like crazy winds, but like, it wasn't even Category 1.
Yeah.
To live through a Category 5, nuts. Yeah, but I just think it'd be one of the scariest things to actually live through if you do. So and it's probably something you don't forget. It'd be etched in your brain. It's like, that's just nuts. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So, mate, what's the future hold for Paul Savage? Like, are you going to keep? Obviously, you're saying yes to many things now. Is that just part of your future now? Is like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself to do this? Is it mindset? Like, what's
it's absolutely mindset. That is a big thing for me.
Yep.
I just want to say yes to more things. I want to focus on my health and my fitness.
Yeah.
In a half decent place these days, and mate, I just want to continue along those lines and set good examples for the boys.
Nice, mate. Yeah.
That is that's why I got into this whole business in the first place.
Yeah.
Is just making sure I set a good example for the boys.
I suppose that's a big, big something for anyone to you've got these two young individuals, like you said, they're 11 and 13.
Yep.
Looking up to your dad, as they idolise you. You're the man they go to for advice, I suppose, on everything.
Yeah.
So it's mate, hats off to you that you're showing up to be the best version of yourself to help them along the way, because it's tricky, mate. Like, it
is.
I remember being that age and idolising my dad, and just with if he came home and said, do you guys want to throw the footy or play cricket? It's like, fuck yeah, we dropped everything, because it didn't happen that often, but when it did, we just were at a bull at a gate to go out, because Dad, I didn't know this till late in life, but Dad was really good. He was captain of the footy team and captain of the cricket team, and he was a really good sportsman.
Yep.
But it's like something that you hold dear is those moments with your dad, because they're fleeting.
Yeah.
There's it's not forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly aware of that as well. There's only I think there's a window of opportunity when your kids enjoy spending time with, they actually like hanging out with me.
Yep.
But there's a bit of a timeline on that. They will. It'll just get to the point where they will much prefer to hang out with their mates than hang out with Dad.
For sure.
So while they do enjoy hanging out with me, mate, I'm just going to make the most of it.
For sure.
So,
there's that period where, mate, it's
going.
It's coming down now.
There was talk of a storm as well as the rain today. I think
we're starting to get. It's getting a little rickety in here, mate. Yeah, I'm going to have to drop the sail. But those times with you, I don't know. Just what your point that when you're that 13-year-old kid, my nieces and nephews, I see them now, and you're the uncle that they rely on, and they know that that they can come to me anytime. I love them to bits, and but they want to learn from you as well.
Yeah.
So I love with one of the nephews, just he wants to know all about protein and creatine and working out and all that sort of stuff, and I love that stuff, and I love talking to him about that sort of stuff. But I know in a couple of years from now, that'll be gone because he will get to an age where it's like, I hope he still thinks Uncle Shay's cool, but he'll start hanging around his own mates. Holy
It's blowing.
It's blowing a gale, yeah. But we're going to make it through, mate. We're going to make it through. We didn't do the cyclone, but we're going to make this one work. All right? There's no coming back for the bushfire, all right? But yeah, it's those moments. As you said, like the windows open, windows shut. So I never take it for granted, and I'm very grateful that I've got those kids in my life to, I think the one thing kids, I don't know about you, but they remind me to never lose sight of being a kid.
Yeah.
There's always, a crocodile under the bed, or there's always, don't forget to have fun with things.
Absolutely,
put a smile on your
mate,
face.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to have fun. You've got to do silly shit.
Yeah, I agree.
If a bloody 2-year-old hands you the toy phone, get on that toy phone.
Answer it. I totally agree. Yeah, because it's you get to a stage in adult life where it's just the default is like, well, we're all serious and we're on the phone making sell. Like, like you got to have fun with it, and not forget to be. You don't have to.
Yeah,
I just think it's funner.
Mate, it is. It absolutely is. Yeah. It's one of my, in the wonderful world of dating out there that I've found myself in the last 6 months. It's one of the key things for me is finding someone that I can just do silly fun shit with.
It's got to be a staple. It's got to be like you've got to be able to laugh. Yeah, and that partner needs to be a laugh along with you. I think there's nothing worse than, I won't mention. I did go out with a girl, and I remember. I called it like at the end of the relationship when it broke up. It was like she became a sigher. Have you ever like so you come home excited and it's like, how was your day? And it's like, oh, it was okay. So the sentence started with a sigh.
Yeah, right.
And so it just sucked the life out of the room.
Yeah.
And it was never going to work, because you've come home and you're all full of beans and want to tell them about your day, and then they just suck the life out of the room, and it becomes a habit. It's like, yeah, it was okay. And everything is just okay. And it's like, oh, this is not going to work. So, yeah. So, mate, how do you find it dating in today's crazy world of, Tinder and... Is it hard work?
It is, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Do men still have to... Like, how does a date work these? Mate, I'm been out of the loop for a while. You don't want to go and eat lobster on a first date.
No, that's right.
Or spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah. Look, I guess I've got various stages of dating as such. There's start off with a coffee or something like that.
Just keep it simple.
The next one might be go and do something fun.
Yep.
And and then you might consider yourself to be dating someone, and then you're seeing someone. And I generally hold on to that seeing someone for a while before I venture into relationship land or into admitting that I'm in a relationship.
Yeah. Do you find, like, I remember being in the dating scene, and I was like, I remember always, like, for the first date, having a, I've got to be gone by this time. Right, so it could be just like a lunch date where you're there for 45 minutes, an hour. But it's like, I've got to get back to the office. I've got something, because otherwise, and like, I don't know.
Like an exit strategy.
You got to have an exit strategy. Exactly. Yeah. So, not that you have to have that, but I think the first date is just sort of feeling, it's an interview. You're just feeling each other out, right? And then you can leave and then sleep on it. But it's, like, obviously a date that goes for 7 hours and you're just laughing the whole time, you don't want that to stop.
Yeah.
Right. But have the exit strategy in place just in case. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And don't pull the exit strategy out, right? Because I found, like, in those dates, it's like, well, hang on, who's pulling up stumps here? Like, how are we going to end this? And it's like, hang on, if I'm ending it, does that mean I'm not interested? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So everyone gets too much in their head on that one. Yeah. But it's. I think I spent a fortune, mate, on dates. It wasn't cheap.
Mate. Yeah.
But like starting with a coffee.
Yeah.
Get that going. Yeah. So what are you looking for in a woman, mate?
Mate, just someone. I just want to have fun and laugh and do silly things with people, and someone that I feel comfortable with.
Go skydiving, do an ice bath.
And
they're out there.
Mate, they are. And,
Yeah. There's plenty of them out there.
Just someone I feel comfortable with.
Yep. Yeah. gets on with the two boys, enjoys their company, can pick up that phone, the 2-year-old phone, and answer it.
Yeah,
and have a full conversation
for sure
with a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
I think what age do you think the kids are, really super creative on that sort of stuff? Like, because I don't know, they're just starting to talk at 2, 3 and 4. Like, I've done that phone call, I reckon, many times.
Yeah, 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is great.
They're great years.
They're becoming their own person, and there's no ego. They're not influenced by the other couple of hundred kids in their class or anything like that.
That's it.
It's just pure. It's just doing whatever they want.
I remember putting on an accent to a 4-year-old, and they thought I actually became that person. Do you know what I mean? Like, Uncle Shay wasn't there anymore. It's like he was Scottish or something. You know what I mean? It's just that they weren't seeing Uncle Shay; they were seeing the character.
Yeah.
And there's this innocence to that I just love. Yeah. And just the laugh of a kid. It's worth $1 million, isn't it?
It's the best.
Yeah. It's so good because you're right. It's not forced. It's a true laugh of someone that's just enjoying your company.
For sure.
Yeah. So both your boys just love laughing with you? Like, is that your relationship with your kids? How does that work?
Yeah, particularly the younger one. The older one,
he's starting to discover other things.
To get that ego, so to speak. He just wants to be cool and. I think he calls me bro more than he calls me dad these days.
Okay, you become bro. Just wait till it becomes bra. Hey, bro, you hit the gym this morning at 3:30?
Actually, it was funny though. I pulled his phone off charge this morning, and so I got to plug my iPods in, and it flashed up on his phone a message that I'd sent him the night before, and he's called me Daddy-O.
Daddy-O.
In the phone.
Is he becoming like Daddy-O? It's not a homeboy thing.
I don't even know where that's come from, but it's the first time I've seen it.
Did you go through a stage? Were you an emo or a goth or a skeg? Or you were none of the above?
Nah.
No? Okay,
Nah.
You were just Paul?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the clothes that you wore, were they influenced by anything? Or?
Nah.
No? You just wore plain coloured clothes?
Just whatever I was comfortable in.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Didn't fit into a cliquey group? Like, were you the cool kid at school?
Look, I guess I was probably more in the cool kids group as such, but I've never been the leader of the cool kids group. I was just in the group.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't particularly like being the centre of attention.
Yep.
Probably more introverted than extroverted, but extroverted around the right people.
Yeah, I get that. I think I don't know. I think like the older you get, I feel like I'm kind of that person too. I really like my own space, and I always have liked my own space. But I am in many ways extroverted. I get juiced off talking to people.
Yeah,
I get my energy from people.
Yeah,
but that can be exhausting as well.
Mate, it absolutely can. I really get all peopled out at times. Like at Kel's party a few weeks ago, as much as I enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed talking to the people that were there as well, because they were all fit people. But by the time I got home that night, I was just all peopled out.
Yeah.
It just gets to the point, I'll be at those social occasions, and like I said, as much as I enjoy it, it's like everything's fine. All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Catch you later, everyone, and I'll be out. As soon as it's like a switch gets flicked, and I'm generally out the door within 5 minutes. So.
I find, because even as you said, you get very structured in just the way you do everything, scheduled, right? Yeah. And I force myself to go out and talk to people out of my comfort zone, because I don't want to lose the art of conversation in some ways either. I find that very important, and ever since COVID, we were just talking about this before, it's quite easy just to sit in your house. And,
it really is, yeah.
And just eat cheesels and barbecue shapes and watch and binge on Netflix.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that I don't want to lose the art of conversation, and I think it's with all the digital devices and everything going on, mate. I was just in shock the other day when I went out for dinner by myself, I was in a restaurant. No one was talking to their partners. They were all on their devices, across from each other. And it was kind of eerie, quiet about what's going on. But it was a boisterous. It should have been. Everyone should have been laughing and carrying on and drinking and But it was eerily quiet.
Yeah. And
I felt a bit sad. I thought this. And I'm just there by myself, so I'm just sort of taking it all in. And it's just I don't know. I think there's something to be said about just like you can. It's like your muscle. If you're not in the gym working that out every day, you're going to lose that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think conversation is very similar. If you're not talking to people, conversing, and you'll lose the art of conversation. Yeah.
And I'm very aware of that as well because I work by myself. Some days I can go the entire day without talking to anyone.
Yeah, right.
Just, I work by myself, I live by myself. The boys are with me X amount of nights per week when they're not with their mum.
Yep.
But, and I, it just gets to the point I crave the social interaction.
Yeah.
I absolutely crave it.
Yep. It is one of those things that, human connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. And I particularly, I love going out and doing the group activities, climbing with groups or hiking with groups or whatever that may be. Mate, I have so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun with those people.
Well, as we were saying before, like when you're on the side of a mountain, you're moving, you're sweating, right? You got endorphins and dopamine going on.
Yeah.
Your conversations are richer. Like the conversation, they're just full of, they're full.
Yeah.
You're funnier.
And you laugh and laugh and laugh, and you can talk about the serious things as well.
Spot on. Yeah.
But just laugh.
Yeah.
Mate, I just love it. It's so good. It's,
mate,
it's so good for you.
Oh, it is. It is. I totally agree. And look, mate, I'm so glad that I met you because you made me laugh. And I just said when I came home from that bar, I said to Sarah, I said, tell you what, Paul's got this great energy about him. He's a really good guy. And then she goes, yeah, I know Paul. I've known him for years. So, mate, I really appreciate you coming and doing all these things and in this torrential you made it, mate. We made it to the end.
Yeah.
We're now going to finish up with a sauna. But, mate, thank you so much for your time to come up and do all these things. And, I really appreciate you coming in the sauna for a chat, mate. So,
mate, thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it. It's been great.
Thanks, mate. For everyone at home, don't forget to subscribe and check out, Paul and other podcasts. And if you've got any questions for Paul, shoot them our way and I'll get them to him. And, we'll see you on the next episode.